Hello and welcome to the Supercast. I'm your host, Superintendent Anthony Godfrey. Join us as we visit a program driving students to find success in the car care business. On this episode of the Supercast, we stop by the auto mechanic shop at West Jordan High School. That's where we meet the auto shop teacher and a student who just placed among the best in the country in a car repair competition. This truly is a class that is jumpstarting careers. We're here in the West Jordan High School auto shop to talk about the Skills USA competition. Thanks for taking time. Introduce yourselves and let's talk about the competition.
I'm Brian Liddell, Mr. Liddell, the automotive teacher here at West Jordan High.
I'm Eli Atwood.
And Eli, tell me about the competition. What does it involve and how did it go?
So during the competition, we did brake inspection, we did tire inspection, we looked up service data, did a job interview, electrical stuff. So we diagnosed an electrical circuit. We had to build an electrical circuit. There was a written test, and it went pretty well. I got 14th place out of 30.
Wow. Where was the competition?
It was in Atlanta, Georgia.
Atlanta, Georgia.
Yep.
And how was your competition? Was from all over the country?
Yeah, there was one person from every state. Well, not exactly, but there was
roughly,
roughly one person from every state.
It's interesting to me that they add all of these other layers to it. It's not just about working on the vehicle. It's also about the interview and the written test. Tell me about that part of it.
Yeah, so the interview, you're pretty much interviewing to apply for a shop or something like that. And then the test is just an ASE test that they take. There's 50 questions, and you got 20 minutes to do it. 20 minutes to answer. How many questions? 50.
50?
Yep.
Well, I would get 3 of them answered, and they'd all be wrong. That's how much I know about auto mechanics.
Yep.
Tell me, what got you interested in auto mechanics? I know from personal experience just how good you are at this.
Thank you. So I've just always been interested in tinkering at home, and then I came here to the high school, and Brian really got me involved in it. I've just been interested ever since. I'm working at an auto shop right now, and I love it.
So what type of work do you do at the auto shop? Just whatever comes your way?
Everything, yeah, just automotive repair.
And is that what you want to do as a career? You want to continue with that?
Yeah, I'd like to be a mechanic and then one day own a shop.
That's fantastic.
Thank you.
So tell me a little bit about this program. What do students do to qualify for this national competition?
We have a district competition, and then we go to the state competition. And each state gets to take one student in MLR, which is what Eli went in, which is maintenance and light repair. And then there's also the ASE test. So you can take 2 students in the competition from each state. So for him to get to that level was amazing.
Tell me about the ASE test.
The ASE test is actually what they use in the industry. All of the mechanics that get ASE certified have these tests, and they're all automotive-based tests. And they're Mechanic A, Mechanic B tests. So there's a lot of tricky questions, and it's something that he did really well. I'm, master certified. I owned a shop for 18 years, so I try to run it like a shop and make it so that they understand what they're getting into the industry.
And did this prepare you well, this program and this competition, for working in an actual shop?
Yeah, it definitely did. So Brian, in the shop here, we'd be working, doing live work. We'd do stuff in the classroom. It really prepared me for what actually we're going to see in the real world. What
is the hardest work that you do on a vehicle? What's the most difficult thing to do?
Diagnostic for sure, and electrical stuff.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out electrical.
Just figuring out what the problem is to start with.
Yeah.
Tell me what vehicle this is.
It's a Chevy Tahoe.
All right. Talk me through the elements of the engine and the different components you would be working on in the light maintenance competition.
So on something like this, so we had a car that we needed to pull a code on, and it had something with a crank signal, and you had to pretty much take the code. You had to run through the diagnostic sheet on when you put it in the service data, and you test certain components on the engine with a multimeter and stuff like that.
The multimeter, is that the little device that, tell me about
what
it's
the electrical device. You could test voltage with it, continuity, just different things like that.
So it was an electrical issue?
It was, yeah.
And are you trying to solve the problem as quickly as you can?
Yeah, so you only got 10 minutes, yeah. And you have a worksheet, you have 10 minutes to do all that. So you got to fill out the worksheet, diagnose the thing. Usually you don't get through the whole thing, but
it would take 10 minutes just for me to do the search on YouTube to try to figure out what I'm supposed to do. So does everyone have the same problem that they're trying to solve? Everyone that's in the competition?
So each time they reset the station, and you got to figure out the same thing, so it's all even.
Okay. And what are some of the other aspects of the vehicle that you had to understand in order to be
So we
successful
had
in a
to
competition?
do tire identification, so you had to use a TPMS tool, the tire pressure monitor, and you had to trigger the sensors, see what all the pressures were at. You had to look at the tread on the tire, look if it's good or not. You had to measure the tread depth. You had to check brakes. You had to measure the brakes, look if they were good, check if they were warped or anything.
Did you get to meet some people from around the country that were kind of fun to get to know?
Yeah, I got to know some kids in my competition. We had like before the competition, we did a thing, and I got to meet some of the kids and just met them from. There was a kid from Oregon, got to talk to a little bit. There's kids from all over the U.S.
Tell me all the different sounds that people make when they come in and describe what's happening with their car.
Probably a.
It makes this
Yeah.
sound, or
Clunk,
what are
clunk,
some of the
clunk,
others?
clunk, clunk.
You're trying to diagnose,
Yeah, for
initially at least. I know it's all computerized for many vehicles,
Yeah.
but you're trying to get the best description out of the customer also.
Yeah, for sure.
So now you said that there's a mechanic 1 and mechanic 2 aspect to the competition. Tell me about what that means.
The difference is in high school level we teach MLR, and at the college level they teach the AST. So we get to send, each state gets to send 2 competitors.
Oh, so it's a college level competitor and a high school
And a
level.
high school level competitor, yes.
Oh, okay.
This is my first time going to nationals, so seeing all of the competitions, and I mean it's everything that is, you know, from cutting hair and doing nails all the way up to building homes. Automotive. I mean, there was.
So all the Skills USA competition
Yeah.
is at the same time.
It's at the same
place.
time, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's so many people at the competition that we had the Staples Center full. I mean, there's, I think, 430,000 Skills USA members across the country, between advisors and students.
Well, I think it's really exciting for us to be represented at that national level in various categories, and like I said, this is so far out of my realm of expertise that I'm very impressed at your skills and just your passion for the work. Stay with us when we come back. More at West Jordan High School.
In Jordan School District, we like to support students in and outside the classroom, along with their families. That's where the Jordan Family Education Center comes in, offering support services and a wide variety of classes for students and their families free of charge. You can take a class called Blues Busters for children feeling sad or worried. Just Breathe is a class that helps students reduce stress. Or how about a class that supports parents in helping their children make and keep good friends? There are also support groups and free counseling, all provided by Jordan School District school psychologists and counselors. To find out how you can benefit from free family support services offered by the Jordan Family Education Center, call 801-565-7442 or visit guidance.jordandistrict.org.
What would you say to a student who's thinking about getting into a program like this?
It was really great to hear Eli say that, you know, that he enjoyed being in here. He loves working on cars, and that he wants to own his own shop one day, because that's exactly how I started out. Was sitting on the fender well of my grandpa's truck while he was doing stuff to it, and I just decided one day I was going to own my own shop, and luckily, you know, all the cards were laid out right, and I ended up owning my own shop for 18 years, and then I got the opportunity to come and help, you know, train technicians for the future, and I jumped on that. So I would say, if it's something you're in, even if it's something you're not into, you should take Intro to Auto, because that's going to help you maintain your car, a little bit, so you're not spending a lot of money in the future. And then just, take the more advanced classes and work your way up. There are a lot of students who take my class because, mom or dad says you don't get a driver's license unless you take our, auto. And then they find out that they really like auto.
I love the idea that you get to drive a car only if you know how to maintain and repair one.
Yeah, well, I think that, the basic maintenance, being able to change a tire or something like that is very important.
Yeah.
Even if this isn't something you want to do for a career. You should want to do this for a career. It's an awesome career, and we can't all do the same thing.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, and it's a skill that, most people are going to end up owning a vehicle at one time or another, and all of those vehicles need maintenance, and they're going to need repair. And what is it that made you want to go into education?
That one's kind of a funny story. When I was in high school, I took auto mechanics, and I fell in love with it. I already was, because of my grandfather getting me into it and everything. But I ended up, my senior year, I was able to take 3 of my periods were auto mechanics, and on A day, and then on B day I had auto mechanics for 2 periods, and then I had woods, and then I had work release. So I spent a lot of time in the shop my senior year.
Yeah.
And when I graduated, my teacher actually wrote me a 3-page letter about how I should go to school and be a teacher.
Oh, wow.
I kind of laughed at him.
Yeah.
And then here I am, I was 42, I believe, when they came. When one of the teachers here, who I happen to work on her car all the time at my shop, came and said, we need an auto teacher. And I thought about it, and then I came down, and this has been probably one of the best decisions I've ever made. I love my job.
I love hearing that. That's a great story. And did the teacher who wrote you that letter find out that you ended up teaching?
No, it's kind of sad. He had passed away already, but that was pretty neat, because I never even saw that in me back then, but it was great that he could.
It's amazing that he saw that potential, and ultimately that's where you ended up.
Yeah.
And how long have you been here at West Jordan now?
Next year I think will be my 7th year or 8th year. It's, how the years are different.
The years blend, yes. All those COVID years contract. After students graduate from this program, where do they end up? What are some of the things they do with the skills they've learned?
There are a lot of shops out there hiring right now. Eli works at a great shop, but there's also post-secondary. You can go to, there's a bunch of technical colleges that you can go and get some degrees in. I know that because of the competitions that Eli has some scholarships to go to college also.
Now you've got a variety of vehicles here, and it catches my eye that you've got a golf cart up on a lift. Tell me about what's going on there.
That one is the baseballs.
Baseball's
golf cart.
So if it has wheels, they're going to bring it into you for repair.
Yeah. Well, and I love that, especially when we teach the oil changes.
Yeah.
I send out a thing to the teachers, and then they're able to come in and have their oil changed, and the kids get to work on live work, and it also makes them happy because they can go to math class and say, "I'm the one that did your oil change."
Now that does not hurt your grade if you're able to help out a teacher's car. Eli, have you found that to be true?
I have found that to be true.
Suddenly they're relying on you, and that doesn't hurt when they're
Yep.
when they're calculated grades. and you know what? You probably will have to protect yourself the rest of your life from people who say, "Hey, Eli, you're a mechanic. Any chance you could come over and take a look at this?" How do you handle that?
I just try to help out people.
Yeah,
If I know I'm good, then
that's awesome.
might as well.
That is something that's great about this because at the current moment I have 3 cars sitting in my driveway because it's summer and everybody knows I'm not here.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's great to be able to not only have a skill that helps you pay your bills, but also to be able to help out friends and family who are in need.
My dad was a mechanic in the summers. He was a university professor, and in the summers he worked as an auto mechanic at Sears in their automotive.
Yeah.
And it's been really awesome that I can always call my dad and say, "Hey, my car's doing this," or "My car's doing that," and people have come to him over the years for some help, and so that's a nice thing, and it's a nice connect with people in your neighborhood, family and friends, that they know they can rely on you for some help. I think
Yeah,
it's
definitely
awesome.
is.
Well, you're going to make a lot of friends with these skills, Eli.
For sure.
And have a great career ahead of you. And it's I've known you for a long time, and
Yep.
and it's really exciting to see you at this stage and see all your accomplishments. So congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And thank you, Mr. Liddell, for providing such a great experience for our students here.
You're welcome. Like I said, I love my job. Keep them coming.
I'm grateful for all those circumstances that brought you here.
Me too.
All right, thanks, guys. Thanks for the time, and good luck with everything.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us on another episode of the Supercast. Remember, education is the most important thing you'll do today. We'll see you out there.